have to forgive me as the newest member of the LTAC committee. If I'm a bit rough in getting this going. Meetings being recorded, host. Okay, I was just reading your.
Oh, here's Kelly. Jimmy, are you running the chamber screen? Okay.
All right, so let's go ahead and call the meeting to order. And let's note, Richard, I see your. Can somebody say God? There you go.
I'm here.
You're here. Kelly is right behind me. And Lori and Alan,
Where's Alan? Oh, he's on the phone.
he's on the phone.
Unmute him.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for having me.
So as you guys are more than aware than I am, so we put out notice for application, received some applications in. I suggest we go ahead and look at those and decide from there how we want to address and go from there. Do you have
Do you want to
any
sit here,
preference
Kelly?
on? Okay. I've got paper here too, if you want.
Put on the screen, just a spreadsheet of applications, the names and the amounts. That can be talking points if needed.
And then how much money do we have at our disposal?
We have $175,000.
Okay.
And I have Drew and Jerry here if you guys have any finance questions in
I
that
do.
regard.
Quick question.
Yes.
So we, last year we were going to do a second round and we never did do that. Do you remember that? Because there were some funds that were supposed to come in. Did that ever happen?
We didn't do a second round. That's correct. That decision was made. It was based on running out of time and staffing. We wouldn't have been able to get it on the agenda. So we didn't do that. As to whether those funds were appropriated. Then we went into a new budget year. And so what happened last year doesn't really apply to this year. It's 175,000. Okay.
So there's the other money never came in or,
I don't know what you mean by other money.
so there was some outstanding money. Do you remember this, Richard? There were some outstanding funds that were needed to be paid and then that we were waiting on that last year.
It hadn't been collected
Yeah.
yet. That's what we were advised
Yeah.
at the last meeting last spring.
By who?
Who was that?
By the finance director.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been the finance director.
Yes.
Okay, so I can certainly go discuss this with the finance director and then maybe return with an amendment down the road in essence.
Yeah,
or we can
if,
try to
yeah,
get
I
this
just
figured
wanna-
out.
yeah. I just want to make sure that we had all of those funds because we were looking
There
forward
was
to.
Lodging tax funds,
Yep,
basically.
mhm.
Okay,
I don't remember the details. It was something about some funds that hadn't been collected during the pandemic.
Mhm.
all right.
And it could be somebody made a mistake too, but
Yeah, we just
I
want to know.
think we're both remembering this.
Yeah.
The same.
And it hasn't been addressed over the past couple years.
Nope. Oh, this was just last year.
Last year, yeah.
Okay,
Sorry, gives you more work. Sorry.
Okay, but at the moment, as you said, at the moment, we'll focus on the 175,000. If those funds materialize, we can do that as a separate action to go look at anything missed out of this or new applicants. Okay.
Is the 175,000 entirely what's been collected in the last 12 months, or is there some carryover from prior years?
You're just stand.
Judy, you just want to sit up here?
yeah, so in essence, there's been carryover from prior years. I'm not sure exactly how much in lodging tax revenue we collected last year, but it was more than what we had appropriated for. And so consequently, we have a larger fund balance overall that we can utilize for the next 2 years for the most part. And then we'll continue to track revenues, see where we are for the most part. Also part of the game plan financially moving forward is making sure that we have a sufficient reserve in this fund. But otherwise we have significant cash on hand as we speak for the most part. It's part of the overall budget document itself. We were forecasting that we were going to start 2023 in the hotel motel tax fund with $147,000. So roughly about, $25,000 more in lodging tax would reach that $175 mark $175,000 mark, basically. So, which is relatively small in comparison to how much we've collected typically on an annual basis. So
But they
Mhm.
can allocate the full $175,000 to $75,000 today and not worry about keeping a reserve? Or do they need to keep a reserve?
well, so we're anticipating that we will generate roughly $140,000 in lodging tax revenues in 2023. That is our forecast moving forward. So the fact is by the end of this year, we're anticipating a fund balance of $112,000. We anticipate right now moving forward with a appropriation of $175,000 for 2024, so that you have relatively consistency across the 2-year period overall. We understand that we want to make sure that if certain organizations are relying upon this money, that we set the kind of floor for the most part, and that floor continues into the future, as opposed to kind of giving you all the cash up front right away, going out, having a party, right, for the most part, which is not what we want to have happen, and then come back to you and say, okay, now we've got to pull back the punch bowl. So
Thank you.
we're
That's
trying to make sure that it's
That's
as
what we were trying to-
consistent as
yeah, thank you.
exactly
possible.
why we're asking.
Yeah.
So we were actually involved in the process of
Yes.
making sure there was reserve in the past, and that's why we were
Yes.
asking,
Yeah.
was to know whether we needed to
Mhm.
suggest setting aside a portion of it rather than allocating all of it, just for that very reason. So
Right.
thank you.
So we have to make sure that we remain cautious, which is why the target that we've set for this year is $175,000, and we think that's appropriate moving forward.
Awesome.
And it is what council approved as a part of the budget as well. So
Okay.
without going back for a budget amendment for any more, right, this is what we have to work with, especially for 2023.
But they could choose to allocate the full 175,000 now, wait and see what happens later in the year if there was additional funding, and we could do a mid-year application. Is that kind of where you were going with that, Kelly?
We could, it would also require a budget amendment
Right.
simultaneously. Otherwise, we're then impacting how much we would allocate or offer the commission in 2024. So,
Okay,
So
mhm,
175 is the number.
okay.
yes.
Okay.
Thank you so much, because now it makes sense.
Do you need him to follow up with the answer from last year, or did that help answer? the
That helped
question?
answer a lot of it, yeah.
I think that helped answer a lot of it. I'm just trying to remember what the specifics were of that. Now that we've talked this through, I think it was that there were some lodging tax revenue reports that were in arrears, and there was the presumption that there was unreported income, is now what I recall.
I think so.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, and on the other side of the sheet, we have an ask of $192,000, so there's a bit of a difference there. Okay. Now, do you want to run down the list and just do a brief refresh on what each one of these is, and then come back and entertain proposals of how we get to 175? How do you guys normally proceed or want to proceed?
Yeah, we can definitely go through them and for sure.
Okay,
Each one.
Yeah, that's what we usually
Yeah.
do.
Okay.
all right.
At first.
Who can speak to the block party?
I can. So this year, we are doing something and completely different than we've ever done. And one of our things is that diversity, inclusion, and equity, DEI, the other way around, is very, very, very important for us up on the ridge, because it is very diversified. And this year we wanted to the ridge businesses themselves believe that we have the city has forgotten about them, and that they did not have as many things happen on the ridge as downtown. So I would like to do the block party again, but we are going to do it with a little bit more, making sure that all diversities are considered. And we are also opening it up to a big stage and having a lot of different ethnic groups come dance and make sure it's all inclusive. So, and that is what that is, to help with the businesses up there as well.
Okay,
Kelly, why don't you just, you have the next few
Keep
listed.
going.
Why don't you just
Okay.
give little synopsis
Yeah, I'm not
of your
gonna-
app? If I may, Councilman Holloway.
Yes,
So
the rat,
May.
and I can't hardly see, so yes, my glasses, okay. And then I am 51, so it does cause some issues. Okay, the next one is, we want to do a rat card, and this one actually, I'm happy if we put it down to 5,000 on this, on the rat card. But the whole point of this is, to make sure that people have our wineries and our breweries, and also our golf. So when people come up for Boeing Classic and the different things like that, we were able to hand these out at those things, and also have it at the new, at the oh my gosh, the water, the
Falls.
falls. Thank you. I got hit by a big, huge thing just a few minutes ago, so my brain is not working, just so you know. A big limb. Okay, so that's the rat card. The app is, so we spent the money last year getting this all set up, and ended up costing us quite a bit more money, but it costs $5,000 to have just the license on it every year. So, and to make sure that that was done, that I do need all of that for the app, because we also have to do quite a bit of marketing as well for that app. And it is awesome. If you haven't got a chance to go look it up, look under any app store under Discover Snow Valley, and it is awesome. Get a chance. We also have all of the Twin Peaks locations. We used it for the Twin Peak Festival this past 2 weeks ago. And I think it's very, very important. It's our virtual, what'd you call it? Our virtual information center is what it is. The next thing is our ghost tour. The ghost tour is something very interesting. It's something that what we're finding is the businesses need something to keep people downtown. And this ghost tour, we have a lot of ghost stories that are all up and down. Well, actually, there's some actually up on the ridge too. But we would allow the app and QR codes at every single building, and people can listen to ghost stories to get them entertained to actually go stay downtown. And so that is, we have 2 different ways we're doing that. We're going to be doing it on the app and also virtually on each building. So it's just a way to make people stay and enjoy the downtown more than just going and picking something up or going one location. It's something that we're finding that the longer they stay, the more they spend. And so that's just one of those things. And then the marketing, the 40,000, we just did an amazing social media blitz that we did with the Port of Seattle. And it was all about, we used Pete Nelson for it. We had 398,000 views on it and downloads for our new outdoor guide. And it needs so much more for marketing, and we need to be able to market. We're not there yet. And so we're seeing huge amounts of people coming back to our sites, but we need to be able to use some on TV. We are having some of our I think Nicole already uses a lot of the 425, but we're going to do some additional things. We just did a 4-page spread on 425 and for Dirtfish, and it was amazing. That was a $15,000 thing they gave to us for free. It was a lot of begging and pleading on that one, but we need to be able to do more of those things. We need to be able to show what Snoqualmie is all about, and we want to advertise and make sure that we have plenty of money in there to do that. So there you go.
Next is Dirtfish, and let me just take a moment. So Dirtfish's application was for an event, I think maybe this weekend or next week.
This weekend.
And for some different challenges, well, actually it was the vacancy on the council that put this meeting back. So we weren't able to address that for them. So they were given permission to change their application to their Summerfest event, which is an annual event. I think this would be their 3rd year. So I asked Josie this afternoon to just give a description of what the funds would be used for. And she says the funds would be used to create the space, to set up tents and structures, and pay transportation costs for any special guests. It would be guests plural. It would be entirely used to enhance visitor experience and make the event accessible to all. We provide golf carts, et cetera, so that we can cater to folks who aren't quite as physically able. I would just say, because she wasn't able to indicate it in her application, the city, myself and Kelly were at the event last year. It was probably the hottest day of the year. If you're laughing, if you recall, I think it must have been 95 degrees. It was the end of.
It's higher
June.
than
It was-
that.
when you have extreme heat waves or you have extreme cold, it will often impact your attendance greatly. So it was impacted regardless of that extreme weather. It was still a very well attended event. And Kelly and I were deliberate in talking with everybody that came by our booth and asking them where they, what they called home. And it stretched up and down the I-5 corridor into Canada. They were definitely getting folks from outside the area. So,
And hotel stays.
and hotel stays. So that is the Summerfest. Oh, I guess I'm next. So Summer in Snoqualmie, I think this would be my third year of requesting funds for this. The campaign is last year I did Hello Summer, and it's just promoting the different events that are done in the summer, not just city events that I coordinate, but Red, White, and Boom, Thomas, Snoqualmie Days, just kind of one-stop shopping advertising campaign for summer events, using also printed and digital media with 425. If I have enough funds to be able to do a mail piece, I would do that. I don't know if I'll be able to do that. But it's just kind of my way to encompass all of the events going on in Snoqualmie to the best of my abilities in one campaign. The second application is Snoqualmie Winter Lights, and the money that I use for that directly impacts the lighting installations in Snoqualmie. It's a bit of a cross collaboration in that the money pays to light the snowplow train at the bottom of Gateway Park at Snoqualmie Parkway and 202. The legacy trees, I'm often able to do the main holiday tree. So just trying to leverage those funds to help with the installations as well as advertising and in print and digital in 425. And the data tells me, and the businesses tell me, we're getting the people, often repeat visitors now from across the greater Puget Sound area. So that would be my request.
You're up now.
All right, the train shed project is assisting the operation of the exhibit hall on Stone Quarry Road in the summertime so that it can remain open 6 days a week from late May until on or about the 31st of October. And this provides an ongoing anchor to attract people up to the community. Most of the visitation comes from outside of the sorry, I meant to say most of the visitation is destination visitation. That is, people have planned to come up to the train shed rather than arriving in town and simply looking for things to do. The marketing project is overall marketing of the Railway Museum. And some of the highlights are how this funding is used to leverage other resources such as a donation from Google for AdWords and ad placements on everything that Google touches, which is valued at over $100,000, but we think we can leverage somewhere between $50,000 and $55,000 worth of value out of by actively managing that, and is also used for to support social media and other promotional and marketing opportunities to bring people to the to our community. Snoqualmie Days is our annual festival here in Snoqualmie. It's now, I guess, mostly just one day, but we still call it Snoqualmie Days. We have some activities on Friday night planned, including a pub crawl, which will be, I think, either the third or the fourth year. It's been quite well received by the downtown businesses. It includes placement of some local artists in the local pubs on Friday night, and then a live stage all day Saturday with local music. The day begins with a grand parade up the main street of downtown Railroad Avenue, and other features include a timber sports demonstration and some children's activities, some inflatable activities, and so forth.
As far as the Snoqualmie Tribes application, I have not spoken to them for any sort of feedback. So what is in the application, Kelly, do you have anything to add on perhaps their behalf as a community partner?
Yes, so one of the things that I think is needed is we try to let them tell their story of the different history and things, because it's up to them, and this is part of that. They have a really big designer that they have sought after to do this, and so I don't know, Alan, do you have anything else to add to that? Can you answer? Can you can he undo? There it is.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope, I'm not allowed to unmute, and that's probably smart. Thanks, everybody, for having me today. The only things I'll add there is that the ancestral lands movement that the tribe has put a great deal of effort behind now has 12,000 some followers behind it, and is becoming increasingly a draw for those visiting and recreating responsibly and understanding the cultural importance of this ancestral land that the tribe is responsible for. So I think it's great to put this out there in the tribe's voice and tell the story of the native peoples. So thank you so much for considering.
The only thing I'm gonna add for frame of reference for probably Lori and Alan is just to note the applications that are new versus kind of become an annual. So the block party is a new application. The rat card is a new application, has not been funded before. The ghost tour is a new application. Summerfest is a new application, and the tribe map is a new application.
And if I remember correctly, and tell me if this was right or not. You went on your winter lights. Did we take money away from you last year? And then, so we owe you to do the whole full amount, correct? Isn't that what happened? I remember something like that.
Last year, there wasn't enough money to go.
Yes.
And so this summer in Snoqualmie, I received less funding,
Mhm.
which is actually reflected in this year. I reduced my ask in comparison to last year. And so Snoqualmie Winter Lights, I believe the request was 16,000 last year, and I think I received 12,000.
Yeah, I thought there was something.
And I actually could have pushed to have the budget amendment done, but in light of the challenges that we were facing internally, I didn't do that. So I didn't want to do that to my fellow employees. So I just made up the difference with my own budget. But yes, I was not allocated the full money, and we were going to do a mid-year.
Yeah, just want to make sure that was remembered correctly. So if I can say I do in favor to give you the full amount, that was be my, like, if we could vote on that one, so we can do that one quickly.
Okay, anybody object to Summer in Snoqualmie? Well, I'm sorry, are we talking winter lights,
And
full
the-
amount, and
yeah.
Summer in Snoqualmie?
Yeah.
Okay,
Why don't I make this kind of the working document, which is really scary to have me working on an Excel document. And then, Kelly, do you want me to put 5 in
Yes.
here for
Yeah.
this conversation?
Yeah.
question on that. So is RAC an acronym?
So it's not, it's actually going on racks. So it's a rack card, like Does that make sense?
Makes sense.
Okay.
So, but I guess from, so forgive me as the new guy. I view that as the kind of thing that really does do cross-pollinate and drive people from one thing to another,
Mhm.
to whatever. Why reduce that?
Because I found somebody to do it cheaper.
Oh,
So that's
okay,
why
no,
I'm all good. I'm all good.
I don't wanna, matter of fact, I mean, in my head, it ought to be, if you accept this money, you should accept some rack cards to go with it, to distribute out at your event, to
Right.
drive that cross-pollination.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. But if you found somebody to do it cheaper, and
I
that's
did.
the
I did.
good job, both,
Yes.
2 points. Okay. So that's 20, and just quick math, we're about $17,400 over, so. That brings us down, we're down about 12.
So Alan, I got to ask you a quick question. On the tribal map, how the heck do they, are they going to distribute this? Because that's one thing that I'm just worried about.
Yeah, so it'll be all through all their own enterprises. So it'll be here at the lodge, our new visitor center that will open next month, as well as the casino.
Is there any way, and this is just a question because I know some of this, and I could help them with that on that price, but to mail them somehow, to do a bulk mail with that price on there, because I feel, because it's a lot for a map, but I feel like we could actually help and make it even further.
Yeah, that'd be a question for them. I'm not, you know, I'm not the master of all maps and et cetera. Sorry.
Hey, Alan, I have a question. I mean, you may or may not know this. I know that they're talking about a couple different options like printed. Do you know the number of printed brochures they're looking at?
I don't. I didn't see it on the application either.
Okay.
So, you know, again, we have, you know, just about any given year here at the lodge, we have 23,000 occupied rooms, plus the 2 million plus visitors a year hitting the tribe, or hitting, excuse me, the waterfall and now the visitor center. So the amount will be significant that will be at those, just these two enterprises right here.
So then, would we, as another hotel in the area, would we be able to have some of those there for all the guests that are checking in? Just obviously, like we're talking about, just kind of getting everybody out there.
Yeah, you know, in my mind, I'll supply you as many as you'd like.
Okay, well, I like that answer.
So can you give me a description? Is this a map? What is this? It says tribe map, but help me. What is it a map of, and how is it driving tourism dollars through the community?
Right. So it's, you know, a map of the, you know, typical conventional hikes, the Mount Si, Snoqualmie Falls, Rattlesnake Ledge, et cetera. So it's a conventional paper version, would drive people through the hot points of the area, again, through their voice, but would, you know, again, get people through the towns and explore us in perhaps ways that they haven't in the past. Included in this is also a web-based story map. So it's 2 different versions. And this map, again, would be distributed to anyone who would want it. So outside of these, you know, their enterprises would be anywhere businesses would want it.
It's just, I can't read it. I do this all the time.
Steps.
Okay, it's really a map to historical and natural activities and events. And
Yeah, sorry, it's a little hard to hear you, but it's yes.
thank you.
Mhm.
That helps me. So, go back to that. So let me go, any other proposals for voluntary reductions or support of others for partial full amount?
Go ahead.
I guess I would encourage us to look at single day events. And you know, how much funding we're putting behind a single day event. That's all.
Right, which would be like Summerfest. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, well,
Was Summerfest just one day or is it the weekend?
I believe it's one day. Would you, Kelly, we only were there one day last year.
It's one day, but it has a lot of people that come to it. And it's a lot of,
Well, I mean, just the two that are checking in tomorrow. I mean, just her alone, I'm sure is gonna draw
yeah.
a crowd.
yeah, and the other ones are like Snoqualmie Days and Winter Lights and town's packed. It may be one day, but the town's packed.
Gives a lot of money.
I mean, I would be in full support of the Dirtfish.
Yeah, same.
Because you have a lot of people that come to Salish for Dirtfish, don't you?
Indeed.
Put it in for placeholder?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I would be happy to go down to 8,000 for the block party, just because I'm gonna give more. I'm gonna give a little bit.
And then,
The only difference between Block Party and Snoqualmie Days is that those are free events for anyone who wants to come. And Summerfest is a
Free.
fee,
No, it's free. It's free,
but the activities all cost fees.
except, yeah, well, the helicopter
Thrill
rides and the
rides.
thrill rides, yeah, but everything else is free.
So can we, and Alan, I'm not really sure where you were. I thought you were going one way and we went a different way on your comment about one day events. Would you be supportive of, say, Winter Lights and Snoqualmie Days going in as asked?
And the reduction in the block party, yeah, I think that's suitable. Yeah.
Okay, so you want to write those in, Winter Lights and Snoqualmie Days?
The Winter Lights is really marketing from Thanksgiving to New Year's. I pay for the actual tree lighting event with my own city budget. The Snoqualmie Winter Lights is for all of the lighting installations and the marketing for that. So. thanks for this. The
Yeah, but it
clarification.
culminates in a one-day event to drive that traffic you're looking for.
The event kicks it off the day, but the lights and all the marketing are for the whole month.
And let's see here. Kelly, I'm sure have you cleared this ghost tour with the tribe?
No, because it didn't have anything to do with the tribe.
Okay. I know, but there's a sensitivity there, I'm sure.
For ghost. What do you think? Because I don't know. Because I thought about this and I was like, there's no way. Because it's like, you know, like Sigillo's has a ghost Sam that's there. So there are little stories that are, what's his name? Bob Anton goes and tells the same stories every year. And his wife is tribal. So I'm wondering, does that?
Yeah, I don't have any thoughts on it. I just want to make sure you talk to them about it. That's all.
What do you think?
I have not, well, I'm not tribe. Unless there is some cultural stigmatism,
I mean,
I
I think it
don't
would
see a
warrant
reason.
just a conversation, maybe.
yeah,
just,
have a conversation.
you know,
It may even swing, they want to participate.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, because maybe they have some, I mean, I think it's worth a conversation for sure.
Okay.
You're not actually proposing to tell their stories, are you?
No, gosh, no.
Yeah.
Never. No, mine was just we're just trying to figure out a way to keep people in downtown throughout the whole entire year. And so it was just giving them something extra that's free to do, like a scavenger hunt type thing, but it's a ghost tour type thing. What are your thoughts?
I'm unsure. I think it's a great idea. I don't, certainly wouldn't want to intentionally offend anyone.
No, never. Alan, go text Jamie really quick, please.
I can tell you they're just going to want to have a conversation,
Okay.
And then Kelly, for the app, so this is basically just like to continue it,
Yes.
correct? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the marketing part of this is, so our marketing's different than everybody else's, and it is, we market the entire Snoqualmie. So we will have the casino, we will have the Salish, we will have the falls, we will have the train, we will have everything part of it. So that's part of it.
All right, so I'll speak some devil's advocate. I'll make some statements that I may not believe, but at least I'll drive some conversation. So marketing, I view those as they will cost as much money as we give them. And they are a bit flexible.
Yes.
So if we took, well, we got two of them at 40,000 each.
Mhm.
I'm trying to do this. And under that, guys, help me, Alan, is, and again, I'm gonna make a statement just to make sure we're play fair with everybody. The tribal map, is that marketing?
That's marketing production. Are you talking the outcome of it?
Well, the flavor of it. I mean, if I'm gonna pick on the chamber and I'm gonna pick on Railroad Museum because they have something up here, the marketing, which has some flexibility and cost. Should I also be including the tribal map in that
We give
and
that up. each
say,
without that.
$2,000 off each to get us to that 175?
I'm asking my owner's representative currently.
Okay.
I hate to speak on their behalf too much, but if everybody's making considerations, I think that's fair. And Kelly certainly has stepped up to the plate, so, which is rare.
We were
Right,
saying
and I
2,000.
don't, because
I just missed that.
I made the proposal. I just don't want somebody coming back saying Holloway was targeting the tribe, and I'm not.
Candle maker. You heard what I said, didn't you?
Well, I think the two main marketing budgets could probably lose $4,000 each, and that would get us part of the way there.
I'll plug them in for visuals. And then what was the map? You said 22?
22, we're probably, we may take a look at that again once we throw the other ones. So the rest of it, should we move over as is? Given that you'll review the ghost tour with the tribe and make sure,
And I
No offense.
promise I will make
Just
sure,
seeing
and if
front.
it's not, then we can figure out how to reallocate that.
I think we're still short.
and the answer is?
Oh, $1,500.
Ooh,
Right there.
Okay, well, how about sacrificing $1,000 from the train shed budget? I think we can still make that work.
Sacrifice what?
$1,000. I think we can still make that work.
Kelly,
So
can you bring
22.
the app down to 9,000?
I can on the app, but I can on the ghost tour.
Look at that. We made a deal.
See, help me with that, because I have bad memories. NPR program about Snoqualmie being a suicide city.
So it wasn't
Tell me that
suicide.
it's not it.
It wasn't suicide. So for the ghost story, you mean?
I just want to make sure, I understand ghost stories, but I don't want us in a bad light, that's all.
Yeah. No. This is kind of a fun thing, because what we were gonna do is work with the Valley Center stage eventually and have them do little reenactments of things. And we're not doing anything like, it's all PG like rated, so it's not gonna be anything that's gory or anything like that. They're fun things that are just
Friendly ghosts.
friendly ghosts.
Friendly ghosts.
Yes, because we are a family friendly area, and it was just something to get them to have something fun, to do, to keep them here.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Sorry to bring it by.
That's terrible.
I was driving it, going nuts.
So Casper, not Ghostbusters.
Right,
Yes.
yeah, Casper, not Ghostbusters.
All right, does that look, as an acceptable list and something the committee is willing to support?
Mm.
Yep.
Are you willing to support that going to the council?
I am willing to support that as your council.
Thank you.
I'll put my council hat on my head with some opinions, but I don't think I do. If you should want to. I'm a politician. I know you like.
That's funny, Brian.
This looks.
Alan, are you okay with this?
I am. Thank you.
Jamie is here, Jamie Martin from Snoqualmie Tribe.
Jamie, thanks for joining. Appreciate it.
Hey, Jamie,
Jimmy.
We'll need to unmute Jamie.
hang on.
Hey there.
Hey, Jamie.
So Jamie, we've got 22 on the tribal map, and we're at 175 at our full budget. Will that work for you? The chamber's made what, about 6,000 or so in concessions, I think. Correct, Kelly?
8,000, yeah. Mhm.
8,000. Thank you again, Kelly. That's awesome. And thanks to the others that have made concessions here. We have 4,000 out of the marketing for the chamber, 4,000 out of the marketing for Railway Museum, 1,000 for the train shed, and what else am I missing, everybody? Did I miss one?
Well,
The
the
block-
big one was the rat card.
Yeah, the rat card.
Yeah, and yeah, the rat card was the significant one, 3,800. So we're there at 22. Does that work for you, Jamie?
Yeah, I mean, this is a project that we're hoping will benefit everybody. So I think this is great, and we'll make those dollars stretch as far as we can.
And Jamie, could you have a conversation maybe next week with me about Ghost Tour so I can get your opinion, please?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know who gave her that idea to talk to Jamie about that, Kelly.
Alan did.
Yeah, for tribes, whenever you hear the word ghost suddenly used on your ancestral lands, the little red flags go off. So yeah, no, happy to talk about that.
Okay.
Okay, so this is the list. Are there any objections to the list, or is this the list we're moving forward to propose to council?
None for me.
One,
I
Yes.
think this is the list.
okay. We'll do the list.
Well done. Okay. So I will, get all of the materials written up, and I think the next council would be the 27th. So we'll have to go to, would you rather go to CD or finance, F&A? Being that you're the mayor pro tem, I think you can make that decision.
Let's go to F&A, and would appreciate informational to CD, so they at least know the list and dollar figures. And it's going to F&A, if they have any issues, they can bring it to F&A.
Okay, so CD first, and then if they approve it, go to council, or do you want to go to CD, FNA, and then council?
Stevie, let them know what we're doing.
Okay, just a heads up.
Just a heads up.
Okay, okay.
Then we'll bring it to council this Monday,
The 27th, I believe, if we, okay.
yeah.
And if for some reason it doesn't make it to the 27th, like if we didn't have 27th, then
Yeah,
the,
I was more worried. This Monday.
okay. All right, so I'll keep everybody informed as to the different meetings and the council, and then it's a matter of, and is it by council, you heard Jimmy?
Yeah,
Jimmy.
somebody
Um,
popping popcorn.
Then when it goes to council, then I'll work with all of the applicants and the contracts, and then we'll just move forward like we normally do, and submitting recaps and, submitting when you're done with your funding, all of that recap information. So this is good. This was timely. I appreciate everyone's time. I appreciate legal. I appreciate finance, and thank you.
Anything else on the agenda? Is that it?
Could I bring a little community feedback forward?
Certainly.
An organization that didn't wish to be identified was a little concerned that there wasn't more notice in advance of the holiday season, and they felt that it was disadvantageous for them to be putting together a well thought out application. It's not me, by the way, a well thought out application when the notice for the applications came out just before the holiday season, and the closing was 2 weeks after the holiday season, that they felt if it had been a little bit more notice before the beginning of the holiday season, that would have been a lot easier for them to put out a well thought application.
I appreciate that point taken. I will say that was, again, some internal staffing issues and some switching over. And my goal for this year, for this group, is to get back to a more traditional calendar. Probably, October, November, not the holidays. I will do better.
The other thing, sorry for this year. We're gonna do this again next year. They got forewarning.
You're warning me.
No, he's saying, he's telling us.
No.
No, we got Brian, we got him.
This is a yearly event. You can't totally stand on, you didn't give me enough notice.
Okay.
Understood this may be new to them and it was short cycle. She said she'll address that.
Yeah.
But make them work. Start writing it now. Okay,
All right.
all right, with that, any objections to adjourn?
Nope. I moved to adjourn. Second,
I'll second.
Second it. All those in favor of adjourning?
Aye.
We're adjourned. Thank you very much.
You.
Hmm?